Another tip here is to not do this from the same hand every time. You should feed from your left hand, your right hand. You should do it from as many positions as possible so the dog learns that movements and stuff aren't distractions. He's keeping this good eye contact here for a few reasons. I'm Lance with Ultimate Canine, and today we're going to talk about focus. How to get focus out of your dog. So this is Kilo here. He is 13 months and a week. So he's a pretty young dog. And I had a comment on one of the last videos that said, well, it's a good video, but how did you do that? So I'm going to show you a little bit about that today and how to get focus. So first off, something very important is I use my dog's food to get focus. So I have my food pouch here, and this is the way to get focus is through really good consistency, and we're going to talk about consistency in a different video today as well. So consistency is super important because focus gets pulled every way all the time with different distractions, people coming over, everything. So I want my dog to think that I am everything in his life, the giver of his food, the giver of his toys, the giver of affection, and all that fun stuff. So the most important thing is, what kind of focus do you want? So I want him to look into my eyes and to have focus. So my timing has to be really good with that. When he looks, and this starts when they're a puppy. When he was a really young dog, he would look at me, and when he looked at my face, not at the food. You see him looking at the food? Okay? And you can just sit here, and even if the puppy's jumping on you, once the dog gives you focus, you reward that at the proper timing, and then you give him food. This sounds easy, but it can take a long time. You may have to restrain the dog with a leash. You may have to do all sorts of things, but I wait for the food. For the eyes, they release the food. They're the bridge to the reward here. So you see him glance at my hand, and then he looks into my eyes, and I'm going to extend the timing here. So we're just gazing into each other's eyes like it's a romantic comedy, right? I'm making him do it for a longer duration, for periods of time. Now, it can be hard when a puppy's jumping up and down because they're trying to force you to get their food, but if you're just patient, and your timing is correct, the dog will learn really fast that the clicker and the eye contact is the bridge for food, okay? And then you just make it harder and harder. So if I stand up and move here, I still have that eye contact. He glanced away and looked at my food pouch when he heard me rustling the food, but I can even make that harder here until he holds eye contact. Good. And then I can mark it with my clicker, a good combination, because I want a verbal marker as well, or whatever else I want. So, if I turn, I want him to turn with me. Now, I bring the food up to my face because I want it to come down from where the dog is focusing. I don't always want him. I want to extinct the behavior of him looking down at my food pouch while it's rustling. I want him to continue to look at my face and not glance around and wait for my arm. So I'll put my arm out here and wave it. You see, I'm not losing this focus. Good. Now if I turn him around here so you can see his face compared to mine, okay? I have perfect focus here. Good boy. Now you can do a lot of components to make this better. I don't have a huge space right here, so I could throw a piece of food off of this place board and let him run and get the piece of food and come back, and he's going to come back with a lot of power when I do that. So you see him kind of side-eye glancing me a little bit, watching my hand go in the food. But with this, there's a lot of variables, but the timing of the click and the eye contact is the number one. And at first, it's going to be a fleeting glance up at your face, and then you just make it better and better and better and increase the duration. And you can give the dog 1 piece, 20 pieces. I can click rewards so he can just self-eat out of my food pouch. There's a lot of variables here. But when you get focused, like on our video that was obedience through heavy distraction, this is how I get all that. So I have a person taking this video right now, and you don't see my dog looking or caring about him at all. He just cares about me. And the only way that my dog gets fed is through hand feeding, through obedience like this. And that is consistency and commitment, because I want this focus and I don't want the distractions to be a problem. A lot of people don't have the commitment to be that consistent with their dog, so it happens. Another tip here is to not do this from the same hand every time. You should feed from your left hand, your right hand. You should do it from as many positions as possible so the dog learns that movements and stuff aren't distractions. He's keeping this good eye contact here for a few reasons. Number one is he has hope that his bridge of eye contact with mine is going to release the food. So he's been trained, and we've been doing this since he was a little puppy. You can do the same thing with a toy. You can do the same thing with any reward system. It's just, how much do you want to do? How good do you want your dog to be? And how much time are you willing to put into it? And how consistent are you going to be with that time? But timing with the clicker, consistency, and because feeding your dog by hand every single feeding, every single day is a pain. But the results speak for themselves. So when this dog is a mature dog at 3 years old, boom, he's going to be money. Now, I just dropped a piece of food on the floor. You saw him glance down at it, but the reward he's going to get from me is way more important than that reward that fell on the floor. So I'm still getting consistency, and I'm not even paying attention to him. I can see on my peripheral vision he's staring at my face. I'm going to reward that. Good boy. And this is how you get great focus over time. You have to do it in as many environments as you can get into. You have to do it through as many distractions, wind, rain, all that stuff. It's just a commitment. Thanks for watching.